y'all, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kay, and this is my channel where I share all about my making adventures. Today is June 13th. It is a little after 9 a.m. This is episode 234. I have a couple of finished objects, some works in progress, some new cast-ons that you have not even seen yet. We got some knitting, plastic canvas. I think that's the two things we're going to talk about today. But I hope that you've got something to sip on and something to work on, and you are ready to jump on in. So you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady, and I will have links right down below this video in the description box for everywhere that you can find me, as well as links to project pages for any knit or crochet projects that I show. Shops that I talk about will be linked below. It's all right down there in that description box for you. So yes, two finished objects today. Lots of works in progress. I've cast on quite a few new things. I've just been going where the wind takes me and working on what brings me joy, and it's been wonderful. I hope that you've been doing the same. I hope you've been enjoying summer sock camp. Let's touch on that really quickly before we jump into finished objects. Summer sock camp is my sock make-along that I've been hosting every year for, I don't even know what year we're on now. Are we on 4 or 5? I'm not even sure off the top of my head, but it's such a fun make-along, knit or crochet socks, any yarn, any size, any pattern. Just have some fun, make some socks, make some friends. You can find out all the details over in the Crazy Sock Lady Ravelry group, and I will have that linked right down below for you. And that goes all the way through to the end of August, so you've got plenty of time to jump in. Whips are allowed. Yeah, all the details are over in the Ravelry group. I think that's all we've got to really chat about for it today. So, finished objects. I do have my summer sock camp mug today. I don't know if you saw that when I was showing my coffee. I'll show you guys that. I've shown it, I've been using it like every podcast day. It's been my episode recording mug every Thursday. That's what I grab. But you can find these and any other merchandise with our Summer Sock Camp 2024 logo over on the Spreadshirt shop, which, like all the other things, is linked down below. A little sip of coffee before we continue. Finished objects. I finished my plastic canvas tissue box holder, and I love it. I am so happy. So I have a Halloween one and a Christmas one. I had the Halloween one for years and years and years. I think I made that when we lived Yuma, Arizona, I think. Which, if you've been here for a while, was pre-podcast days. That was so long ago. I'm pretty sure that's when I finished that thing. Almost positive. So I had that for years before I ever actually made another one. I wanted them for all the seasons after I had a Halloween one. Finally finished a Christmas one, and now I'm like, I want a summery one. So I did it. I made a summery one, and I love it so much. It's got two sides that have butterflies. There's one of them. And there's the other one. And then it's got two sides that look just like this. It turned out so good. This is a kit from Mary Maxim. That's where I purchased the Halloween one, the Christmas one. This one, I have some other ones. I have a 4th of July one that are not made yet. Some other kits. I should specify that. Some other kits. I don't remember what other ones I have, but I have a few other ones that I would still like to do as well one day. But yeah, I'm so glad to have one now that I can put out. This will last me for spring, summer. I need to work on a fall one. I do have a fall one. I should pull that out and work on that, shouldn't I? Maybe sometime soon, so that when fall rolls around, I've got one to hold me over until Halloween. And then I can put the fall back out till Christmas, right? That's what I should do. Just need more hours in the day. But yes, I love this one. It was so much fun to do. I will say the kit from Mary Maxim, read the reviews. There are some errors if you feel confident that you can work through those. It wasn't hard. It's just that some of the colors were incorrect on the charts. It wasn't anything too difficult, but to figure out. But yeah, there were some errors, unfortunately, in the pattern. But I love how it turned out. It now lives upstairs. I'll put a picture up here. You may have saw it if you follow me on Instagram. Which, if you don't, I know a lot of people don't use Instagram though, but you should be, because that's where you'll see I post in my stories every day throughout the day usually, as long as I'm not too busy, I'll share what I'm up to around the house and just in life in general. So yeah, if you want more details on what I'm up to, that's the place to be. I also finished a pair of socks. I finished the Boom Box socks. I don't have a tag for the yarn, but this is from Beach Bum Yarn. It is her Boom Box kit. It was 5 mini skeins, and I decided to make these for my niece Lily because she always wears my socks for Crazy Sock Day at school, which if you're not familiar, because since talking about this, I've learned a lot of people are not familiar with Crazy Sock Day at school. It is something they typically do during like Spirit Week. I know with my boys, it was usually in the spring there was one, and then in the fall. I don't really know why, but that's usually I think what I remember Spirit Weeks being. But it was just a day. There's different days. You have to dress up as different things or something throughout the week. Crazy Sock Day, you wear your craziest pair of socks. Lily usually always wears socks that I've made her, but she wears like one sock from different pairs, so she mismatches them. And when I started these, and I think I was about like right here on the first one, I was like, these will be perfect for Lily for Crazy Sock Day. She is going to love them. I cannot wait to gift them to her. I think she's really gonna like them. So I have notes on my Ravelry project page for some details on the stripes, but I will go over some of those really quickly. This is my vanilla socks on 9-inch circulars pattern, and then I just switched up using the minis. So I used one for the cuff and the toe. For the cuff, I did do a knit 2 purl 2 ribbing for 20 rounds. And then for the red stripes that you see, I did 3 rounds of red. Then this section right here is 3 different minis. I did 10 rounds per mini. And I just went down throughout until it was time for the toe. And then I did use the red for the heel as well. I did 64 stitches for these. Used a US 0 2mm. I don't know how many I did for the 10, 20, 30, 6, 46. Maybe I did do 50. I was gonna say I don't know how many I did for the leg, but maybe that is 50. I can't remember now. I might have done 50 rounds exactly for the leg. So these I think I'm gonna wait to give them to Lily. They're getting ready to move and she's gonna be starting a new school. So that might be fun to give them to her when she starts her new school. If she wants to wear them outside of Spirit Week, of course she can. But you know, hopefully her new school will do Crazy Sock Day as well. Her old one did. So yes, I think I'll hold off just a bit. I'm not going to send them to her right now, but I'll give them to her maybe at her birthday party or when school starts. I'm not sure. We'll see. All right, so those are my 2 finished objects. I started quite a few new things. Do I have anything that you even saw as a work in progress last time? I don't think so. No, because no, not as works in progress, nothing I brought down. I'm still working on my English paper piecing and Wyatt's sweater. I just haven't had time to work on them every day, so I did not bring them down to show. I will probably show them next week when there's a little bit more progress. What did I even cast on first out of these? I've got 4 things down here. I think I cast these on first. I have this pair of socks in a bag from Robin's Nest Knits. Show you this side. It has a pocket. And there. Her logo, if that'll focus. I think it just wants to focus on the bag, but it's super cute. And here I have a pair of socks for Wyatt. Got them both going. That's just what I've been enjoying doing lately. The yarn I'm using is Moose and Merino. Sweet Liberty colorway. Here they are. They are both, the gusset is done on both of them. This one I'm working down through the foot. Doing my vanilla socks on 9-inch circulars. Did pop of color at the cuff. I do have a tutorial for that. I'll make sure to link that on the Ravelry project page. I did 25 rounds total knit 2 purl 2 ribbing for the cuff. 60 rounds for the leg. Use the red for the heel, and I am going to use it for the toe as well. So happy with how these are working up. And I have progress keepers on here. These might both be from Littlest Charm. This one I'm not sure about, but I feel like maybe it is. This one is for sure. Love them. Getting into all the 4th of July, getting all that out. I put all of my decorations up out front yesterday, all of my flags. We have some that are out there anyways all the time, but I put all the other little flags up too. Quite a few. They are all up and ready. I figured we're close enough to 4th of July. So those will be for Wyatt. Next, I cast on this. This is not socks. I cast on a cowl. Who is this bag from? Does it say? Allegheny Fiber Arts. Whoa, what just happened there? Allegheny Fiber Arts. Look at this. It's so good. I one day want some animals out on a piece of land. So this bag is perfect. All right, I cast on a wallop cowl. I am using up some leftovers from a Legacy Fiber Arts advent calendar, and this will be a gift for a friend. The pattern is linked on the project page. I am following it loosely, and I do have notes for that on my project page. But here's what I have so far. These are leftovers. I already used some of the minis from the advent in another project. And then these are the leftovers that I'm going to use. There are 24 mini skeins. And the main change that I made with this is I do the eyelet row at the transition every time. I do 23 rounds total, including the eyelet row around, and the eyelet every time. It has different transitions between the minis, but I do the eyelet. I like that look the best. And then once you're done, you do all the minis. You come back, there's a provisional cast on here. Come back and I'll just Kitchener both ends together. I've made a few of these and they are such a fun project. Cannot recommend it enough. So I'm using up some of the leftovers in here, and then I still had a little bit left. I knew that I would, but I was like, I don't want to just put this back in a bag, set it aside. Oh, for that I am using a US 4 3.5 millimeter. I forgot to say that. But I didn't want to put the leftovers from that just in a bag and set it aside to have to figure out what to do with it later. So I cast on a pair of socks. And this is in a bag from Mountain State Stitches. And I have 4 of the days added in. So I'm on day 5 on that, and 4 of the days are added in here. So once I finish up day 5, I will add the leftovers into this. Aren't those so cute? Just my vanilla socks, and I am weighing the leftover. I weigh it because they're all a little different. I weigh the leftover, say it's like 4.4 grams. I know I can use about 2.2 for each one. I usually err on the side of like a little less than that, use like 2 grams in one, and I just keep weighing it and checking it, and then do the same amount in the other one. I do make sure the amount of rounds are the same for each so that I can continue along with the sock and not have them at 2 different places. Yeah, and then I have had a little bit left of a few of them. Enough that I could make a magic knot ball, so I may do that and then throw it in the bag that has my crochet granny stripe in it. We'll see. I'm undecided on if I'll keep those tiny little bits or not. Last thing is a project that I've been working on the treadmill this week. I just kind of was in the mood to walk this week on the treadmill. Like I think I talked last week, pretty sure it was on here, not on the membership video. I can't remember now, but about workouts, I just do whatever I feel like doing. So many people ask, what do you do? What plan do you use? I don't use a plan. I just make sure I move my body a little bit every day. Sometimes it's a run. Sometimes it's a walk. Sometimes it's the bike. Sometimes I do weights. Sometimes I don't. And it's just whatever I feel like as long as I'm moving my body. lately it's just been, I want to get on that treadmill and I just want to walk. So I will watch something on YouTube or listen to a podcast or just listen to music, read a book, something. And I'm like, I want to cast on some socks to work on. So this is in a bag from Barley Pearls. And I am using up the leftover yarn. You guys probably remember me talking about this recently. I don't have a tag over here. But this was yarn I purchased from Fuse Fiber Studio, I believe was the name of the business. They are no longer in business. And I bought like 5 skeins of it with the intent of making a sweater. Years and years and years and years later, I finally started that sweater. And I didn't like how it was working up in the sweater. Frogged it, set all the yarn over here with the caked up yarn that I have on a shelf, and haven't touched it. And I decided I'm going to make socks with it. I did a pair of, actually they're right here. I don't know why those are not in the cabinet. I thought I put them in there, but I guess I didn't. I did a pair of socks using my DK weight pattern. I did the fingering weight held double. This is fingering weight yarn. And I still have a bunch left. Obviously, I didn't use that much of 5 skeins. So I thought I'm going to make another pair of socks. I grabbed it for the treadmill knitting and cast on a pair. These might be for Wyatt, Eric, I'm not sure. But I'm just doing vanilla socks, 9-inch circulars, 20 rounds of knit 2 purl 2 ribbing for the cuff. I'll probably do 50 or 60 rounds for the leg. Just working away. 64 stitches. This is 3 days worth of treadmill knitting. I think today I know I did 30 minutes. I can't remember what I did the past 2 days, to be honest. I have no idea. But that's 3 days worth of treadmill knitting. That's all my works in progress that I brought down to talk about. I wanted to show you the yarn I'm going to cast on a pair of socks with next, I think. And a few things that arrived in the mail yesterday. My next cast on, I showed this not too long ago, but is from Leap of Faith yarn. There's a full skein and a set of mini skeins. The minis is called Valley Girl, and this is Like Totally. So I'm gonna cake these up and use these, and maybe a few pairs of socks. I kind of want these for myself, but I'm also like, my nieces would love that. So I'm undecided on exactly who they will be for, but this is what I'm going to cast on next when it comes to socks. I'll probably finish Sweet Liberty first and then start those. As far as mail, I ordered from Mama Jess Knits Some Like It Bright. These are all going to be, this is not collar accurate. I knew as soon as I went to hold it up, I'm like, the camera's going to go nuts on these. It is. This is not color accurate. Check out Jess's site. This is Some Like It Bright. They're all fingering weight on her 75-25 base. Because I ordered this one. I think I pre-ordered it. I think it was a pre-order. And Jess sent me all these too. She said she thought these would be perfect for my niece. For socks for them, but I think I'm keeping this one. I'm like, yeah, I'll share these. I think I'm keeping this one, and I think I'm gonna cast this on soon. This is Pool Party and Grinning Cat. Again, the camera is like, what is going on? 80s remix. And Birthday Cake. My bracelet is trying to fall off. There we go. Birthday cake. So gorgeous. I felt totally spoiled rotten yesterday when I opened up the mail and saw these. It was a surprise. I went to get the package off the porch, and like I said, I ordered this, so I knew I had something coming yesterday from her, and I was like, what is in here? This is a much bigger package than it should be. It was such a nice surprise, such a bright spot in the day yesterday. Love them. So yeah, I think I'm going to cast this one on. So these you'll be seeing cast on soon. That's what I'm thinking. That's what the plan is right now anyways. We all know how that goes. That changes. This is kind of a shorter episode today. I don't have too much more to share. Kind of done. That's all the knitting. That's all the knitting I got. Knitting and making. Reading, I'm still reading the Canadian West series. I'm on book 4. I just started that last night. Still loving it. Highly recommend it. I can't read them fast enough, and I'm so excited to read some of her other books as well. Watching, we are still watching Alone. I am still watching When Calls the Heart. The newest season of The Chosen, there are some episodes out for that, so I'm excited to start watching that soon. I think we'll probably finish the season 7, I think is what we're on of Alone. I think we'll probably finish that and then watch some of The Chosen, or we may wait till all the episodes are out and then watch them all. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but I can't wait to watch them. I've heard good things about the episodes that are out so far. I can't believe how fast this episode was today. I'm excited to go upstairs and bake. So you guys know, I've been on the sourdough train. I am still so enjoying it. It is so nice. As somebody who is gluten sensitive and like was eating gluten-free stuff, to experiment with sourdough and find out that I can tolerate sourdough and not have all the issues I have when I have like a traditional gluten bread or anything with gluten in it. It is so amazing. I can't get enough. I'm just making all the things. Yesterday I made 2 batches of pizza dough because we have been doing pizza nights on Fridays. I make the dough and then Eric does all the stuff to make the pizza. He puts it all together and bakes it. But yesterday I made 2 batches of pizza dough because I'm going to try to make pepperoni rolls. I don't think I have it on there anymore. I had an Instagram highlight on how I made my pepperoni rolls years and years ago. But it's a West Virginia thing. That's the only place that we've ever lived that people know what they are. And I think the story is that they were something the coal miners could take down into the mines. And, you know, it didn't have to be, like it would stay fresh. They could take it in the mines and not have to worry about it going bad on them. It is literally just dough, like pepperoni inside and dough wrapped around it, and you bake it. There are some, I've made some with cheese in them. You can do it that way. You can put sauce in them if you want, or you can dip them in sauce. I usually just go the traditional way of pepperoni, just pepperoni. So I'm going to try to make those today. I have not made any kind of pepperoni rolls in quite a few years. Wyatt, Eric, and myself love them. Austin's not a fan of them, but yeah, so I'm going to try to make those with sourdough pizza dough and see how they turn out today. So I'm excited to get upstairs, get the pizza dough out of the fridge, and get to doing some stuff in the kitchen. But I hope that you guys have a good weekend, depending on when you're watching this. If you're watching this on Friday when it goes up, I hope you have a good weekend and a good week until I see you next. Until then, happy making. Bye.